Guys, when you sit down, you don't have to talk, you can sit down quietly.
Okay guys, welcome back. I hope you had a nice lunch. We will now have a blog about education and come afterwards like to the topics we had before lunch break. So I open agenda point 11, 16, education and STEAM. And Francesca, the stage is yours.
Okay. So welcome to the slot education in STEAM. I hope you're all excited. So let's start. First of all, where is the pointer? Thanks. Okay. Where is? It's not working, right? So, first of all, why do we have education in STEAM? There are a few reasons. First of all, our mission, that is basically to support our local groups, but also to foster relations and develop their IEM students personally and professionally. So, of course, education is a very important part of our development. Then we have our vision to be the connector of IEM students with an IEM Europe, and you will understand by entering this field of education, we are opening a lot of doors to connect our students with professors, with companies, etc. And we also have the strategy framework 2021-2024, and one of the areas that was defined and voted by the Council to be included in the strategy is the IEM development area that focuses mostly on education. So by voting on this strategy, we basically said that the Council wants to have this as an area of esteem. But what do we want to achieve with education in STEAM? First, we want, of course, the development of students, both inside and outside the classroom. We want to foster the alignment between education stakeholders, because companies want graduates that know some skills, professors want to teach us something, we have some perception, and all this alignment needs some dialogue to be achieved, and we want to foster that process. We want to increase students' involvement with education stakeholders. We want to increase esteem recognition among these stakeholders. And this also opens us some doors for fundraising opportunities. For example, the education area is highly valued in European Union grants. It's also something very good to show to universities, to companies, etc. So this is actually a very nice value proposition for externals. And how do we do this? How do we work in education in STEAM? First, we try to complement IEM education, mostly through events, the academic and career events, organized mostly, but not only, by the academic and career departments, development departments. We are also promoting some external events and some other opportunities. We also have IEM development in general, and this goes more in providing tools for stakeholders to develop IEM education or related areas, doing our own research, supporting research done by other institutions, and by external stakeholders, and all of this is very much supported by external relations, which is also a very big area that I work on with some of my entities as well. So today I will talk about this and go a bit deeper into what this means. Starting with complementing education. We have some courses under development. The data science course, which is being developed with an STEAM alumni, Bart Schutz. We are currently editing the videos for the online part of the course, but the idea is that we can implement this course similarly to what is done with Lean Six Sigma, so having this online course and then some offline course also to practice the knowledge learned. And also the circular economy course, it's not yet for sure that this will happen, but we are in contact with the Circular Economy Alliance, and the idea is also to make something similar to Lean Six Sigma. We have some external opportunities being promoted. If you haven't seen this in the portal, please take a look because they are very interesting. These are some opportunities from the European Institute of Industrial Leadership. I will talk more about them later, but basically we are promoting a conference series of net zero carbon industry by 2050, These conferences bring together professionals and also students to discuss these topics and takes a certified leadership certified online event to develop leadership skills. And also we have the professional development partnerships. Also, this is being developed by the Professional Development Committee. They are in touch with Rubro and Eduardo to try to find out some opportunities for students to have easy access to some simulation platforms to practice their skills and learn more. Regarding IEM development, we aim to provide insights on IEM related topics to our stakeholders, and these are professors and universities, professionals and companies, and STEAMers and IEM students. So we have some research projects in STEAM. First of all, we have the curricular analysis, and AJ, the Professional Development Committee leader, will have a detailed presentation on this project, so I'm not going into details. We have the career analysis project that is currently under development, but the basic idea is that we study the company involvement in education and also the career paths that the IEM students can follow after graduation. And we are now opening a new research project for sustainability in IEM curricula, and this project aims mostly to develop write a paper to be presented at the next CEFI conference next year in September in Dublin. Then we are also supporting some external research projects. We were promoting this survey from based on asynchronous education. We are now starting to promote a survey done with Petrus for sustainability skills in engineering education, and we are also starting to promote the Future Leaders Dialogue survey with EIL. Regarding external representations, I've been to some conferences so far. So some highlights, I've been to AIM conference in September in Ancona, Italy. It was a very small conference, around 30 professors, but it was very interesting because they are all full professors on industrial engineering and management, so they are very close to our field, and they looked very happy to have me there and very willing to develop future projects. I also attended CEFI conference in Barcelona, and this was, on the other hand, a very big conference, around 400 people, and it was very good because we signed our memorandum of understanding there. So now we are officially partners with CEFI, and we will have also a presentation from CEFI afterwards. But it was very good to give STEAM some visibility, and also for me to gain some contacts for future possibilities of projects. And what about future plans? I'm planning to go to South Africa in around 3 weeks for the World Engineering Education Forum and Global Engineering Dean's Council. This is a conference that gathers basically deans of engineering from all around the world, and I'm looking very forward to it, as you can imagine. I'm going on behalf of the project that we are doing with Petrus for Skills for Sustainability, so I hope this encourages you to fill that form. Okay. Finally, in September, I'm also planning to attend the IE3 final conference in Italy. I will explain this project a bit later on. And I'm also already looking for some opportunities in July, because July is a very good month for conferences. And so you can see here some of the conferences that I might attend. I'm still studying the possibilities. Regarding IEM conference, this is an event type that aims to gather students, companies and professors all together to discuss IEM. The conference is currently under revision, but the conference in Liège, you will receive an update in the following days, and I will also tell you a bit more about this revision. And finally, I've been wondering how can we improve our impact, because sometimes I have the feeling that we do all these things, but then the results are not known by people don't understand how they can use them, etc. So I developed a survey for one of our most important stakeholders, who are our professors, and I really appreciate if you can share it with them, just to gather their contacts so we can share the results of future projects with them. but also there are some section about the initiatives that we might do and how they perceive them. There are also some future plans. We want to continue with zooming in. IEM Education Forum is also under revision. We might have it this year.
Francesca, you need to wrap it up.
Yes, okay. Let's skip this part, and we will have a presentation on partners in the area of education later on, still in this afternoon. Thank you very much. And these are the 3 amazing QR codes from the service that we are promoting now. So please fill them and share the one with your professors. Thank you.
Thank you, Francesca. So we have time for 2 or 3 questions. Does anyone has a question to this presentation? Nice. Usually I'm up for questions, but we're a bit behind time. There's a question in the back.
Hello, this is Gülce Azmioğlu from local group Ankara Bilken. Can you please go back in the slide and complete what you skipped? Thank you.
It's fast. Okay. These are some plans, because I think that something that we are missing is involving more students in these initiatives. I am very involved as Vice President of Education, but I feel like these opportunities don't reach all STEAMers or all the interested STEAMers, and that's something I would like to work on. So there are some events that we are planning to promote or collaborate on to achieve that. First is Zooming In. It's basically an online session, an online discussion. We also aim to include externals in the future events that will happen. We have IEM Education Forum. It's an event that didn't happen for some years in STEAM, but it's an international event that also aims to discuss some matters related with education and gather both students and professors there. Support and encourage local events on education. Basically, a local event on education can be, for example, a local discussion that we have with students and professors from your university regarding some matter on education. And we aim to provide you some frameworks on how to do it so you can easily implement it in your local universities. And regarding participation in partners initiatives, we have, for example, some initiatives from SAFIC that I think will be presented afterwards, and I would like to promote them to our students so they can also engage with our partners.
Thanks, Francesca. So I think no further questions. So I leave agenda point 16 open for now and open agenda point 17, partners in the area of education. And we have a representative from CIFI here, as Francesca already mentioned. So I actually want to have a warm welcome for Professor Görkem Kula. So she will present her
Just small words before starting. We are very happy to have CEFI here. I attended CEFI conference, as I told you. They are very looking forward to also increase students' participation in the development of education. And yes, welcome, Görkem, and I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Well, it's a great pleasure to be here. I welcome you all to Turkey. I am from Middle East Technical University, which is located in the capital city of Turkey, Ankara. I'm Associate Dean of Faculty of Engineering, and I'm also a faculty in Chemical Engineering. So I'm not an industrial engineer myself, but we actually have industrial engineering department in our university. I'm also one of the board members in CEFI. So today I will give you some information about CEFI. But before I do that, let me give some information about my university, where I come from. We actually have a quite big university where we have 20,000 undergraduate and about 8,000 graduate students. We have 5 faculties. Engineering faculty is one of them, and we have 13 departments, and industrial engineering is one of them. Our education is in English, so all our programs are accredited, so it's a great opportunity for Erasmus exchange programs for you guys. We actually have 104 student clubs and 43 sports teams where our students can be involved. And our actually industrial engineering students, I don't know whether we have any representatives here today, they take the leading role in managing the productivity club. And the productivity club actually represents the Ankara local group of esteem. And we actually joined esteem a long time ago in 1996 as the first Turkish local team, and we have hosted quite a bit of events so far. Our university is also a member of CEFI since 2002, and we actually organized the annual conference in our university in 2005. Now let me give some information about what is CEFI. CEFI is actually European Society for Engineering Education. So our main goal is to improve engineering education. It's a non-governmental and not-for-profit association. It was established a long time ago in 1973, so we have been active since then very much. And the thing that makes CEFI different is the unique network. It's actually, we have generally from Europe, members from 40 different countries, 250 members, and many member institutions. Who are these members? Institutions, the universities that you're coming from, most of them are actually a member of CEFI. So they subscribe as an institutional member, and if they are, you can, as a student, get reduced fees in joining their events. We also have individual partners. If your institution is not actually a member, you can actually be an individual partner. We also have associate membership, which is for people from outside Europe or from student organizations like BEST and like STEAM. And we also have industrial partners and groups. Now, CEFI's long history in the field of engineering education has been actually possible also by our links with different corporations in different fields. We actually are recognized by European Commission, UNESCO, and Council of Europe. And we actually also are a member of several associations. You might not know their names, but they're generally about, again, engineering education in Europe. We also do collaborative work with different parts of the world. For example, with ABET, which is the accreditation board in the United States. So we actually have joint events with them as well. In addition to that, as Francesca mentioned, we actually signed memorandum of understanding with several groups. We did that long time ago with BEST, and very recently we did it in Barcelona in CEPI conference with ST. Our goal is to actually increase the cooperation and connection between you guys and CEPI by attending our joint events or by organizing new joint events. Hopefully we will be very successful. We are quite anxious about it. Now, as I said before, our mission is to improve the quality of engineering education, which will actually be a very important part of that subject. Our main focus is in Europe, and we would like to actually promote it to all around the world. How do we do it and how you can get involved? Networking is something that makes CEFI different. We are very inclusive society. We actually try to include different people, not just faculty members, but people who are really interested in education and so on. So we actually organize annual meetings. That is the biggest meeting of CEFI. Last time it was in Barcelona. Next time it's going to be in Dublin. And there we actually organize research-based sessions, yes, but we also organize workshops, and meetings, panel discussions, including also students, which you can get involved in. We actually also have special interest group meetings there, which we would really love to see you guys getting involved in it. What we mean by special interest groups, we have different teams, and we have an organizer. We actually have people doing research on that field. Yes, we actually have related industry, as well as we have students who actually come together periodically, and they do workshops, they do meetings and seminars, and they talk about different topics. What are these topics? Attractiveness, ethics, gender diversity, engineering education research, engineering skills, which is quite popular, open and online education. It was the hit of last year's, for example. In addition to that, more basic mathematics, physics in engineering education, continuing engineering education, and lifelong learning. Curriculum development, where a lot of deans and presidents are also involved in it, and sustainability is one of them. So we actually encourage you to participate in these events, not only as a student chapter, but maybe later on you might be working in that field as well. We organize webinars and workshops, and CEFI at Work webinars became really popular in the last 2 years. We have a lot of participants because we have a very broad range of topics that we do our webinars on. I just posted 2 of the coming webinars. You're free to actually since we signed up the Memorandum of Understanding as being a STEAM member, you are actually able to subscribe into any of these webinars. We also launched our podcast very recently in Barcelona. We actually have 2 guests so far. But as a student, you can be involved, or as a STEAM chapter, local group, you can be involved, or you can actually listen to the experts who actually work on different fields of engineering education. How can you get involved? You can actually, in the right-hand side, you see that we actually have weekly press review as well as monthly reviews, and you can get those through email. And if you go to the website of CEFI, you can actually subscribe to these newsletters where all of the documents, together with the notifications of the events, we also have the updates of engineering education, not only for Europe, but all around the world. So we also have essays or some notifications related to what is going on around the world. All right. Now, if you are someone who is interested in doing research in engineering education, European Journal of Engineering Education is one of the top journals in this field. We actually, CEFI organizes that and publishes that journal, and whenever you go to the annual conference, you also, if you're doing a research paper, the selected ones are also published in this journal. Now, where would we like to see you next? Our next conference is actually in Dublin. TU Dublin will be hosting this conference. They are very excited. Our previous president was actually from TU Dublin. And the topic, the theme will be engineering education for sustainability. So I understand you guys are working on sustainability as well. So you can actually, as a student, group, you can come up with a research paper or student poster. We have also a student conference, one-day conference prior to the real annual conference. So we'd love to see you there as well. If you want to reach us, you can actually go to the website or email our headquarters or to myself. And it will be great if you actually subscribe to the newsletter for your further questions. I'm sure you will get some answers as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kuna. So there might be some question time. Maybe some of the students are having some questions. So if you have any questions, please stand up. Yeah, Nicola in the back.
Yeah, okay, this works. Hello, Nicola Philip, LXV. First of all, thank you very much for your presentation. Personally, I'm very happy that we have this cooperation with CEFI now. I would be interested, you mentioned some joint events. I would be interested what kind of joint events STEAM and CEFI are going to have. Is that already clear or is it in development currently?
We haven't actually finalized or talked about specific events, but in the last annual conference, we actually have a panel discussion regarding the inclusion of students in industry, university collaboration, and STEAM was actually, she was one of the panel discussion members, and we would like to actually make it more and more in the coming conference, because university side, the professors are really keen on getting the feedback from the students in many different fields. So it would be good if we, not specifically on industrial engineering, but any engineering education, how it can be improved, we are open to any ideas.
Thank you very much.
Francesca?
Yes, just a small comment, sorry. That is true, just to clarify, because in a STEAM, we usually call joint events, events that are co-organized, let's say. So we are not planning to, for example, co-organize a conference, at least not in the near future. But what we are planning to do is more invite CEFI to be present in our events, for example, the zooming in that I explained, IM Education Forum, those type of events, as well as getting some of our students to go to their events. I think this is our focus at the moment.
Okay, thank you. LG Berlin / Milan. I also very looking forward to the cooperation here, and I actually have a more practical question, maybe also to the VP of Education. If you want to join this event, for example, the conference in September, who should we contact and how can we get registered? It's a more practical question.
If you are actually planning on writing a research paper or preparing a poster, students think that they might be doing research, but they're actually in the research part. So you generally, with your professors, you can actually do some work and collect data in improving the education. So if you want to do that, starting in March, we actually accept the abstracts and the papers related to that and poster presentations. But even if you do not present anything, you can actually go to the website and they will announce how to register it. And with the associate membership, with the agreement, you will get the discounted prices.
Okay. We have a 2 here, and then we take the last question from Sana afterwards. Okay.
Is it working? Oh, okay. Ece Özdağ Local Group Istanbul-Boğaziçi. For your question, Robert, I can also mention about our research group project for CEFI conference in Dublin. We are planning to make a research on sustainability in IM curriculum. So you could also have chance to join the group and take part in the conference, like if you complete the paper project. So we also have like different project opportunities. So if you're interested, you could also approach me, approach Professional Development Committee for joining SEPI events or projects. Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Thank you.
last question.
Senay from Istanbul-Yildiz. I was wondering about the podcast because Esteem also has a podcast and I think it could be very interesting to collaborate. So could you please tell us about what are your plans for the podcast?
We actually just started, and I understand you guys actually just started the podcast idea as well. Our goal is to first invite the professionals who will attract more people, but the one idea is to have a small discussion in the podcast with students and industry and so on. I think it would be great if we can organize something together and you guys can be involved in it.
Okay, thank you, Professor Kula. So please give her a big applause. So now we have Francesca then with her presentations. Feel free.
Okay, it's working. So now I'm going to give you an overview of our partners in the area of education. As you understood, we have SAFE, but we also have some more that are not able to be present here today. The first one is EIAL, the European Institute for Industrial Leadership. They are basically a non-profit organization for industrial companies, but their aim is to research on industrial leadership and to provide opportunities to develop students and professionals. So basically they are in contact with industry companies, but they want to also develop their human resources or their future human resources so that there is a better leadership in the industry. Their main activities are organizing events that bring students and industry together and develop them. And the value of STEAM is that you can actually all go to these events if you apply. We are usually promoting them in the STEAM portal. Our next steps are basically to continue doing this because it's working very well. We have also noticed that there is interest from the STEAMer side. So what are those events? The conference that I mentioned in the previous presentation on net zero carbon industry and the NTEX. And we are also now working with the IAL for the Future Leaders Dialogue. We are supporting them with research, and that's why we are promoting the survey. This research aims to understand students' perspectives towards their entry in the industry. And then we will discuss the results during a conference that is going to be organized in April online. We also have EPIM, the European Professors for Industrial Engineering and Management. This is basically a network of researchers and professors in Europe from European universities within the IEM field. And they started with the support of STEAM, so they are a very close organization from us. And their aim is to initiate and foster collaboration between IEM academics across Europe to enhance the field of IEM. They work very informally, they usually meet online, and their main activities is basically their annual meeting where some professors meet, but it's quite a small organization at the moment, so I don't know, maybe like 10 people would go to this annual meeting. And the value for STEAM is that we can actually approach these professors that are active and they provide us some informal support in our research, and also they are very interested or very motivated to help us in our academic events. Our next steps are to be defined. At the moment they didn't start to plan their year yet, but I already met the professor responsible for STEAM, Christian Mustata, and I also met him in not only online, but also in Bucharest, so that was really nice. From AIM, a few years ago, sorry, for for IE3, this is the Industrial Engineering and Management of European Higher Education. This is a project that has been developed in the last 3 years to implement a new Master of IEM in some European universities. They did a whole study of what companies can want from students and what are the students' expectations and how to develop a new master that meets all these perspectives. And now they want to implement it. The project is ending. They basically have some working meetings with the people involved in the project, and now they are finishing the project, and they want to, of course, promote the results, disseminate the results, so that everyone, even from the universities that are not implementing it right away, can learn from it. The value for esteem is basically that this is an opportunity for us to shape our education and our masters. And the next steps is me going in February to Italy to meet them and work with them in the final conference on how to disseminate the results in the best way possible. This project came from AIM, the European Academy for Industrial Management. This is an organization that is a group of 55 full professors of industrial engineering and management, so people with a lot of career already in the academic field. Their aim is to be the leading organization in the European Union concerning education of IEM students, and their main activities are their annual conference, also quite small, but already has around like 35 to 40 professors. And in these annual conferences, they discuss together which projects can be created that they can apply for European Union funding. And that's what they did for the masters that I just presented. And the value for esteem is that by attending these conferences and being in contact with them, we can then get projects like the IE3. Our next steps is, I now went to the conference in September, I met some professors, they are very interested in collaborating with us, so I'm looking forward to discuss with them future projects that we might have together. Then for SEFI, we already had a presentation, so I'm not going to repeat. And thank you very much, these are our partners.
Thank you, Professor. So we have time for questions, so you can ask also a question for the other presentation of Francesca, educationalist team. So we have up there.
Stas Kanin, LG Sofia. What is the most challenging thing in the popularization of the education possibilities within and beyond the STEAM?
I think it's a bit prioritizing because there are a lot of opportunities. As I am attending more conferences, we are also being more approached to start projects, and I'm seeing a lot of interest, especially from the professor side. So sometimes it's a bit hard for me to understand where to go. But I think so far we are going in the right direction, so that would be the challenge. Another challenge is also that I go there and I go there in representation of IEM students. And even though I already studied 4 years of industrial engineering and management, I'm not fully knowledgeable about what is happening in IEM in Europe. So representing that, sometimes it's also a bit challenging.
Thank you.
Can you repeat your name, local group, and question for the minutes, please?
Stanisław Kanin, LG Sofia.
And the question, please? Sorry.
The most challenging thing about popularization of the educational possibilities within and beyond the STEAM.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Yeah, Joanna?
Joana Vaz, local group Lisbon. As you said, the VP of Education is never fully knowledgeable on what's happening everywhere. How can these delegates that are sitting here contribute or help their local groups contribute as for a team having the knowledge of what their reality looks like?
Thank you for your question. So for this, it is very important that you feel the service that I shared.
because those are providing us insights on what you think, what are your perspectives, and this allows me to present the students' perspective based on data and not only my opinion. Then we have the discussions that I presented after Gulce's question. So it's important that when we start organizing these discussions again, that you also join and share with us your perspectives. And it's also important that you are you are contributing to the curricular analysis project that will be presented after this presentation by Ece. But it's basically an analysis of IEM curricula in Europe, and this is a very good tool for me to understand how are the curriculums at the moment of IEM in Europe. Because of course I can do a lot of research on my own and go to all your websites, but this allows me to have an overview, and that is very important.
João?
Okay. João Pissarra, local group Aveiro. My question is, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going around in education, and very good job, but it's kind of in a bubble around you and PDC. How do you want to spread that awareness to everyone, including local groups?
There are a few promotion initiatives going on /plans. First of all, the STEAM websites will be renewed soon. There will be hopefully a page about education and everything will be linked there. So I think that will be a great thing for you to have easy access to this information. We are also working more in promoting the education area. If you follow us on LinkedIn, you might have seen some things on Instagram as well. And we are also including some things in the newsletters. Still, there is a lot to do in this area of promotion, and it's something that I'm planning to keep on working on.
Okay, thank you. Apparently there are no questions anymore, so you can sit down if you want. So I closed agenda point 17, partners in the area of education, and then we are asking Ece to come on stage for the curricular database.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm Ece Özda from Professional Development Committee, and today, as Francesca mentioned during her presentation, we have a project that we want to raise your attention, which is Curricula Database. And now I will explain a bit more in detail. But first I want to explain what is Professional Development Committee. And Professional Development Committee is actually providing insights on IEM fields through conduction of research projects, managing different types of partnerships, and we are informing IEM stakeholders, also providing different deliverables. We have two main responsibilities as PDC. One of them is conducting research projects in IEM area, and the other is managing institutional and professional development partnership projects. And today we have Curricula Database. This project is about analyzing IEM curriculums and then providing information to stakeholders about different types of IEM curriculums within network in Europe. And why are we doing this? Right? Because we want to improve the understanding of industrial engineering and management, IEM, and support the development of industrial engineering and management education also. And also we want to improve our recognition from our external partners' side. And I have a fun fact for you to give you small introduction to the topic that I will go into detail. So, in terms of engineering and management distribution in the curriculums, which of the different local groups do you think have the most different structure? Do you have any ideas? Because like with this project, we can see like here, Aachen and Liège. Yeah. So we can see like these different types of interesting actually insights with the help of this project. So what I would like to tell you is how do we do this project so that you could also contribute if you are interested. So how do we do it? Step one, we are actually identifying the curriculums that we want to analyze. And then we are analyzing these curriculums according to the framework that we developed. I'll go a bit in detail to this framework. It's basically going it like that. We are collecting the updated version of curriculums and then classifying the received data in the curricula database templates I will show you. And then categorizing different scientific areas. And afterwards, we are calculating ECTS for counting. And after then, calculating the weighted scores of different scientific areas so that we could see like different course types in different curriculums. And then we are linking all these analyzed data to the public dashboard so that you can see a simplified and a visual data. There you can get more information. So here is the template. It's very basic, super straightforward. You basically first dividing the scientific areas of the curriculums, and then as you can see, like you are categorizing the mandatory classes, also like the like ECTS for accountings. So it's like the framework that we have developed, it's super easy to implement your information in here because like we have the framework, but you have the information. So we need like your perspective, your information to actually fill this templates in a more right way. And the step 3 is after we analyze this curriculums according to the framework, then we are uploading this analysis to the public dashboard. You can also find that
Actually, you need to speed up a bit more.
Yeah, already. Yeah, you can see, you can like compare different types of studies in Europe. And step 4 is we are promoting the outcomes with you. We are sharing with you so that you could be more informed about different types of studies. Also, we are sharing this information with our stakeholders like universities or professors, which is also providing like very valuable insights in IEM studies. So our goal is to finishing all the curriculums in network. So that's why we need you. These are local groups that analyzed so far, and you can see we have a lot of work to do because we only have one active member that is working on the project, and he spends 20 minutes if he has information about the curriculum. That means that we have 57 local groups that needs to be analyzed, so you see there's a huge number. So that's why, in order to make the process more efficient and like speed up and then complete the project, yeah, that's why we need your contribution. And here, as you can see, there's 45 minutes, which is the amount of time that is spent by him if he don't have the background information. And that counts a huge number. So what you can do is, I'm going to share a sign-up form at the end of the presentation. You can fill it up with saying, I I want to actively contribute to project, which means that after you sign up, you're actually being a temporary member of PDC, so that you can work on this curricular database project, analyze your curriculum, share the outcomes with us, contribute to the project, and then if you want, you're also welcome to continue in PDC. But it's a temporary project that if you're interested, you could be part of. And the other thing is, if you also want to contribute in a different way, you can share your contact information and we could reach you. You could also provide some insights about your curriculum, some information that we need, information such as examples of data, like some papers, or so, like some website things.
Very fast. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah. That's it. Like, it's almost done. So, like, these are the examples that you can provide us. And this is the sign-up form. Yeah, if you could fill it, we would be super appreciated, because we would also want to see your contribution in this project. Your information is very valuable for us, and thanks for listening to me.
Thank you, Ashley. Do we have any questions for the curricular database? The back, very, very far in the back was the first one. And then we have Nicola again, and then Boris.
Okay. Serhat Gürgen Yatağı, LG Ankara Bilkent. Thank you for the presentation. My question is, what do you see as the end goal of this project? What are we going to do with the outcomes? Are we going to share them with our partners, with universities? What's the end goal?
Yeah, like actually, if I could have some more time, I could like explain a bit more in detail in the promotion part. So we have different steps. Like we also want to share this information with different stakeholders. For example, one of the stakeholders that we are targeting, we're going to share this information to inform you, for instance, to give you insights about what kinds of curriculums that you can choose for your maybe Erasmus, or in terms of professional perspective, we could also provide this information to like universities, also like in conferences. That's also a valuable information that we could like provide them to show them that in Europe we have different types of studies, and we like analyze this, and we actually have this database so that it could also be helpful for them to have this information, like, yeah.
Okay, thank you for your work.
Like,
Nicola?
I don't want to, take your time, so.
Yes, hello again, Nicola Philip, LG Bremen. Just want to ask, since I see that a lot of LGs have not collaborated with you yet, have you thought about working closer with regional coordinators in order to get all the LGs to fill that at some point? Because I saw that Northeast is like no one filled it.
Yeah, yeah, that also could be another approach, but first we want to actually see the volunteers, the interested people who want to contribute, and then our next step will be approaching LRs and local groups to analyze these curriculums. But first we want to give space to people who are interested in this project.
Okay, thank you. Boris, and then the delegate with the last question.
Okay, Boris. Sophia, I have a question regarding PDC collaboration and members committee. Since the process for recruiting the local groups involves PDC anyways, so I think that the broader audience can help by recommending universities that they think are suitable to join this team. And is there a way that we can suggest universities, PDC research, and then you can come back to us and we can approach them? It will make the process easier.
So yeah, we don't have a procedure on that, but so you mean approaching to universities directly?
Yes, because right now we are revisiting the approaching strategy, and before the way we did it, we first contacted universities and then re-evaluated the curricula, which in my opinion is not efficient. And it should be the opposite way.
Yeah, for now, like the ambassadors of these universities are now their students. So that's why our initial approach is to approach students who are studying these universities and then collect their information. But like I said, like we want to give space to interested people because it's also a very interesting project to work. But in case like we also cannot collect the answer rate that we expect, that could also be an option for like proceeding the project.
Thank you.
Okay, last question.
Okay. Is it? Okay. Ah, it's working. Rodrigo Souza, LG.
Name and local group?
Yeah, Rodrigo Souza, LG.
Ah, sorry.
Yeah. So my question is, is it in the scope of the project to also gather information for other universities that teach IM courses but are not in the network?
First of all, yeah. To be clear, we have local groups in STEAM in this project specifically. So we don't have any information about the universities that are not in the STEAM local group pool. So we are focusing on STEAM's local groups because we also want to understand different IEM curriculums within network. That's why our main goal is for now to complete the local groups that are in STEAM.
This is, sorry, I just want to add a small thing. There is actually one exception. The curriculum from Ghent in Belgium was analyzed because Nancy, the Vice President of Education, did Erasmus there. The thing is, there is a lot to be analyzed, and if you see in the presentation, we are also focusing at bachelors right now. It could also be like a future plan to analyze the masters, for example. But we have to prioritize a bit where to focus our analysis at the moment. So we defined that the goal for this year is to analyze first, finish the analysis within STEAM because it's the people we have closer to us and it's also the people we are representing. But it's definitely something to consider for the future to start analyzing also other degrees.
Like Francesca said, as you saw, there are a lot of local groups that needs to be analyzed. So this is our prioritization. But yeah, it's also valuable to analyze the other local group, like not local groups, like other universities that are not in STEAM. Also, like master degrees are also another value that could be contributed.
Okay, thank you, Ece.
Yeah,
Big applause. And closing agenda point 16, education and STEAM. And we're going back to the code of conduct and have a sexual harassment topic.
Okay, yeah, you can all hear me, perfect. So yeah, let's continue about the topic of now the code of conduct. We already talked a bit about sexual harassment. And now we'll focus more on something you maybe already have seen on Helium, the code of conduct. And yeah, I will give you a bit of an introduction, talk about the current situation. Francisca will talk more about the future plan, and also that was not supposed to be there. So then we'll continue with the introduction. So why would we like to have a code of conduct? Basically, we want to ensure and promote a respectful and safe environment in the STEAM. And yeah, our vision is to connect the STEAMers, and we want to do that in this environment. And what is a code of conduct? Maybe even more important as well. It's basically a policy that outlines expected behavior of any individual in any STEAM setting based on the principles, standards, and the moral and ethical expectations of our organization. So now I'm talking about the code of conduct in general, but what you might have seen already is that we started on the code of conduct about sexual harassment. And now we come to the current situation. Basically, to create the code of conduct, a small task group was created. I really want to thank Boris and Dominika already for that, because they helped us with writing the draft version of the code of conduct. So yeah, basically we were writing it. There's a draft version. In the end, you will also see a QR code on how it looks like. And we would really like to get your input on this important topic, and also to see what you think about the implementation and things we thought about or you wrote about in the code of conduct. And then, yes, it was already posted in Ilium, we got a lot of feedback. There's still some more feedback that we need to process, that we need to include in this code of conduct, but we're still working on it, just so you know. And then, I think, she's going to continue.
So basically what is in this draft so far? Of course, a small introduction. Then we have the recommended behaviors that are things that really need to be followed. For example, ensure that there is consent. And we also have some recommended behavior, which are things that are not mandatory to follow, but that we encourage you to do. For example, help someone for example, ask someone to go to, if they want to go to the bar, if you suspect that they are in an uncomfortable situation. And these recommended behaviors are organized in the before, during, and after the harassment. You can also read them, of course, in details in the code of conduct. And then there are also some explanation on what happens if the recommended behaviors are not followed. So if we are reported, there is also an explanation on how to report the situation. And if you receive a report and we follow up on that situation, we try to understand better, and we conclude that the situation was very severe, we might ask the local group to expel the person from the local group, because his behavior is putting people uncomfortable. And this is only for very severe cases. If we ask a local group to expel this person, and the local group doesn't want to expel the person, and we really think of course, this is in a very severe situation, we really think the person needs to be excluded, we might ask the local group we might propose the local group to be excluded in the General Assembly. And for less severe cases, of course, we are also planning to have a process to talk with the people, make them understand their mistakes, and basically a corrective process to ensure that people also learn from their mistakes. This, of course, is all up to discussion. This is just a draft at the moment, and you can share your feedback with us if you don't agree with any of these points. Regarding implementation, how do we want to implement this code of conduct? First, there is an automatic email that is sent to participants, both when they apply for an event and when they register for one. So we want to include the information about the existence of this code of conduct in the email when people are registered for the event. We are also planning to include something about the local groups having to follow this code of conduct in our membership regulations, probably going to happen in CM Portal if everything goes well. And this code of conduct will also be accessible through the Esteem website once it's finished. Regarding our future plans, of course, completing the code of conduct, including new topics, new situations that might arise from your ideas. We already included some due to the comments on Ilium. Having some open meetings to also discuss this in smaller groups of people, because of course in CM it might be a bit harder. So we will probably post this on Ilium. These are online meetings and you are all welcome to join. Of course, for that, you should have an Ilium account, otherwise you will probably not know that these open meetings are existing. And still collecting more feedback, and then when we finally have a complete code of conduct, we would like to vote on it in a council meeting. And that's it, thank you. And here you can see the draft of the code of conduct on sexual harassment at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Before we come to questions, Kai, you have an announcement?
Just a quick reminder, the day is almost over, you don't need to keep yourself awake for too long anymore, but I'm sure you can manage for approximately half an hour more, okay? Please wake up.
So we have time for questions for the code of conduct, but also for the topics we had before lunch. So yes, Serhat first, and then I cannot recognize Chris. Yes, Chris.
First, Chris Figas, local group Gdańsk. You said that you want to add more topics to the code of conduct and more points. And what usually happens when documents are becoming too big and too detailed, they are losing their practicality because they are just being too heavy for the people to actually act on them. So I'd like to ask you, what are you planning to do for the code of conduct to ensure that this is like a practical thing that's accessible for the people and not just like a very idealistic way of seeing the world that actually nobody sees and is getting dust on the drive?
Yes, thank you for your question. So we are trying to make the code of conduct, of course, as concise as possible, but it's a very complex topic. So we discussed having some kind of guideline or BPD for the part of recommended behaviors, for example, or some like more recommended behaviors can be found in this document, so that we only stress out some of the points in the code of conduct. And that is one of the plans.
Okay, we have a quick two, then we take Serhat, and then we go over to Sen and Denny.
Maria Fanscher, LG Darmstadt. I wanted to make a comment especially for the not so experienced steamers among us. I know that it's quite a heavy thing, it's your first event probably, and you are confronted with sexual harassment already. I just wanted to put it into context that of course this team is a huge network, and especially at an event as big as the council meeting, there's an increased chance for someone not to have our best interests in mind. But of course, this is the case everywhere you go, and Steam has a huge advance. We have a strong sense of community, so at least I can tell for myself, I always felt safe. So thank you for everyone for looking out for each other and take care of each other and for contributing to the sense of community. I just want to point out that the reason why we're talking about it is not because it's like so many people harassing and everything, but it's like a vast minority, and even one person can cause huge damage. And I think it's great, it's very important to keep in mind, so please don't be afraid to come to Esteem's events or anything. We are a community and you are part of it.
Thank you, Maria. Serhat?
Serhat Gürganyatı, LG Ankara Bilkent. This is a two-parter. So my question is, you guys talked about severe cases which might beget expelling. My question is, do you as board believe such severe cases have happened before, and do you foresee them happening? If yes, will this code of conduct work retrospectively to expel those that have done this before? If no, wouldn't this be an ineffective thing if you don't foresee such cases happening?
Yeah, thanks for your question. The code of conduct puts in writing what is already in place. I will use the other microphone 1 second. It's ready. Oh, nice. So it basically puts in writing what is already possible. So each organization, also by Dutch law, the country in which we are registered, but also every local group following the country's procedure, the procedure of the statutes, has the possibility to exclude individuals if a continuation of membership is justifiably not in the interest of the organization anymore. Then it needs to be ensured that there is a democratic process, of course. So it is not like we can just exclude people from being part of the network. That's also not where we see ourselves. However, there's a process also in the Dutch law book basically that makes it possible for us also to hinder individuals from participating in a team. What is important here is that that it needs to follow a process that ensures that that person is confronted with a justified reason, that are also stated in the regulations, basically. That person needs to have the opportunity to comment on this, and that person always has the opportunity to challenge the decision also in the General Assembly. So there are always rights that need to be ensured. What is now different with the Code of Conduct is that we basically put into writing to make it also clear for people that are maybe not familiar with the Dutch law book.
Okay, Senna?
So I understand that...
No, please, no follow-up question. Or...
Why did you give the word to me then?
No, I said Senna.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Except your name is also Senna now.
Senna from Istanbul-Yildiz. My question will be regarding the previous presentation that you have specifically about the Steam Songbook. In the Ilium post you shared, there were quite valid points about the fact that a Steam Songbook is a book of the whole network, and I'm not saying the songs actually influence sexual harassment or not, which I'm also curious to see the results if you have any plans on making a study. But my question is about what kind of changes are you planning to make, if you have specific songs in mind that you want to change, and how will we as esteemers will be involved in this process?
Sorry. So I will hold an open meeting in December about the topic. Everyone is welcome to join. I will also post another Ilium post about the open meeting that will come up. I think you also asked about which songs or
do you have a specific plan in mind already to make some changes, or will it be a process where you gather input from esteemers?
It will be a process where we gather input.
Perfect, thanks.
Danny?
Danny Bruce, local group Eindhoven. So you talked about the CERT project before. I wondered, what does it include when you were in that project? Like, what do you have to do? Are there any obligations, etc.?
Okay, so I'm going to talk on behalf of CERC because I'm the board responsible, just to clarify. The CERC has been having this project of sharing surveys that are usually from one council meeting to the other. So in this council meeting, we're also having a report on a survey that was done. And we decided to focus the next survey on this topic. Making part of the team means that you are going to work on developing the survey. So for example, we want to have questions on, did you ever feel unsafe in an esteem event? Were you asked if you would like to stay, if you had any preferences on your hosting? So basically the people who are in this project need to come up with these questions, try to prioritize and have the survey, and then they will also work on the promotion of the survey, the analysis of the survey, of the answers, and then hopefully we will present the results in CM Port. So this is what the project is about.
Do it. You can ask a question. Yeah.
Paul Katsiupis, LG Aachen. Has there ever been any cases of a Steam blacklisting single people, and how do you actually want to make sure that they don't stay active, for example, on local level?
So whether people are active on the local level or not is nothing that we can influence. Local groups are independent organizations, so we can control or have impact basically on the participation in a Steam, but on the local level this is beyond the scope of what we can touch in a way. Have there been cases? Yes, there have been cases.
The delegate from Tampere? I think it's Tampere.
Yes.
You need to push it up and then wait 2 seconds until the screen.
Okay. Emilia Jensen, local group Tampere. I want to ask about the possible exclusion of individuals because of sexual assault or something. I wonder if the exclusion is taken to the council meeting. How do you ensure that it's not that the people who have been assaulted, for example, can participate in that kind of a CM, so that it's not a traumatic experience for them?
Yeah, very good question. That's something to think of. I don't have an answer currently.
Last question from Chris. If there's still any other upcoming questions, please use Pigeon. No. Let's make Krish. And Senna, we take you afterwards, okay? Last question, okay? Please keep your questions brief.
Chris Figas, local group Gdańsk. I wanted to also ask a question about like the whole process. Do you have some sort of goals that you set up for the whole situation? What do you want to reach? Depending if you want the whole situation to be more about making sure that the cases do not happen, or making sure that all the cases are detected. It's much more different tools needs to be used. And then it's also very hard to draw a line where you actually reach a point that's actually acceptable. Like, for example, if we would use the songbook, that, for example, songs about rape are wrong, but about sex are right, but about death are okay-ish, and like, do you have some sort of set of the goals set up for the whole process and how you would like the situation to look at the end?
I'm not sure if I understand your question, but I can try to answer at least.
I can rephrase in one sentence.
Would work.
So basically, are you acting like looking for low-hanging fruits and then just like working on the situation as a whole, or did you prepare, let's say, goals how the situation should look, and are you preparing actions to reach that goal?
Yeah, thanks for the rephrasing. I can still try to answer. So your question, like, is it about detecting cases? Is it about preventing cases? Well, the end goal is always to not have those kind of situations. This is what the end goal always is. That is, however, of course, far away from reality, unfortunately. There will always be cases. It is more us trying to take responsibility and making sure that Esteem is, to the furthest extent possible, a safe place in which people can be comfortable. So it is not about now doing, like, making sure that we know of each single case or something. That is not leading to the end goal.
Do you have a long-term plan and a line you want to reach?
Krish, can you maybe just put it on Pigeonhole and then the answer there? So Senna can have the last question.
Yes, thank you. Senna from Istanbul-Yildiz. My question will be also about the previous one, more or less. So you mentioned that there are sometimes there can be cultural differences in what is wrong in behaviors or what is not. And I see that there is a working group about saying yes, or I forgot the title, but regardless, there's a working group and I think it's a very good step. And I'm wondering if there will be any other training sessions planned to be delivered to Esteemers in terms of raising awareness and cultural differences, because things, for me, what is normal can be a bit different for another culture. So I'm just curious how you would think this could be tackled.
I think I know what you're going to say. In the meantime, you can give him a microphone, maybe. Yeah, we have the intercultural awareness training sessions. Is that it? Yeah, that Europe really is developing and delivering, and this is maybe something that can being worked out with them. But I think it's a very nice point. We didn't discuss yet having training sessions, but it's definitely something to be considered and makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, thank you.
You can make a comment, bro?
Yes, just a very quick comment. Franziska was already very right. We already have a lot of different modules in ICAT, and implementing another module specifically around how, the relationships, or like what is seen as normal or less normal in different cultures. Adding this module to our wonderful ICAT training is definitely something I will be very open about. So yes, contact me, I will get it.
So, thanks, Rob. So, you want to say something? No, okay. Okay, thank you. Sophia, please wake up. Sophia, can someone turn around and wake them up?
Wake up!
So there's a punishment, I think. We will do it tomorrow, we don't have time today. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you everyone. And Then we are going for the last agenda point today. I open agenda point 18, miscellaneous. And first I give the word to Max. Max. Should I keep talking until you're finished? Yeah.
Yes, hello. Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna vote using LXV. Some guys already filled the form and gave me your personal email, which you need to give to me in order to vote. So there are a few local groups that didn't do it yet, so please approach me today, and then I can add your email address and you can vote tomorrow. So I would like these following LGs to approach me: LG Barcelona, LG Dortmund, LG Hamburg, LG Lulea, local group Paderborn, and local group Stockholm. And also there have been some proxies, and I didn't receive a second email. There are 2 different emails necessary, so please also Belgrade, Brussels, Budapest, and Oulu come to me to give the second email so you can use the proxy to vote. And that's it from my side.
Thank you, Max. Kai?
Yeah, please make sure to do that also in time. We tomorrow have closed voting sessions. Make sure that you're registered and you can vote accordingly. Yeah, after we are done here, also to the front can come Chris, Eric, local group Gdansk and local group Istanbul ITU to pick up their stuff. Punishments will be received tomorrow due to lack of time, but you can pick up your stuff already tonight. Yeah, you already have.
Perfect. So then one few words from my side. So what was good today that actually you followed my time restrictions, so I'm very surprised. So compliment for you guys. But there are also some stuff we can improve for sure for tomorrow. I know we are all tired, but you see Max partying yesterday and he's sitting here awake. So I think you all also can manage to be awake. I know it's hard, but please tomorrow make sure that if someone falls asleep next to you, that you just wake him up. We were all sitting also at your places. We know it's hard, but please make sure that you wake the people next to you up. And secondly, please tomorrow pay a bit more attention to not to look on your phone if it's not necessary, especially in the front row, so the delegates, because there are people standing on stage, they are nervous, and it doesn't make it better for them if they look in the crowd and you see people on their phone. So I hope we can all agree with this. You also, Ece. There's a 2, yeah? Is this on, Toro?
So,
yeah.
There's still many of, whoa.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. There's still many of us, at least me, who don't have their name tag. Will the organizers have them stand outside, or how do we get those before we leave the premises?
Is someone from the organizers here? They have anyways an announcement now?
They will have an announcement in just a second and can cover that there.
Yeah, but there was a stand outside earlier where they actually handed out name tags, so I assume it's still there, Thomas, so you can check. If not, we will tell them to put announcement in the Telegram group.
Okay,
That's
thank
fine.
you, cheers.
Thank you. Who's making announcements? Where's the Chris? Okay, quick question.
Was waiting. Chris, local group Gdansk. I would also like to remind everyone that the whole purpose of making sure that the name tags are getting taken to the board are to make sure that they go back to the people and they can have them on their necks. I know that these holders are very easy to clip and it's super easy to steal them from people's necks, but this is not the purpose of the game. You can steal the flags, but don't do that with the name tags, because here we need them as the entrance tickets to be able to take care of the night activities. So for you it might be fun because you will be able to give a punishment for somebody and somebody might have a problem to enter the club. So please don't do that.
Thank you for reminding everyone, please.
Hi guys, again me. I hope you're still doing well. Now we are going to do our theater with our families, so please find your family and follow them directly. And also we want to go to our hotel. We are just going to do directly the train, and after we will start to do our theater. So please guys, we don't want to lose you. So please keep your family together. And also we will distribute your dinner meals here, and you can just grab them, and when you feel hungry, you can eat during the stitter. And also end of the stitter, we will...
Guys, sit down, sit down.
Yeah, please guys, it's so important for us. End of the stitter, we will meet in a park. We will share all of the locations in the announcement challenge. Sorry for that. You can scan this QR code for all of the locations. And I guess...
Yeah, that's a question. And then Paul has a technical. Paul, make the technical first.
Yeah, some of us want to go back to the hotel, you know? So
yeah,
this is possible.
Ask. Name and look good.
Lathetakis, Pires. Sorry. Some of us want to go back to the hotel. Is it possible?
No, it's not possible. Sorry.
Paul?
Yeah, I just wanted to say to all of the family people, please come to your family leaders and stay with them, because some of us still don't have working internet and it's really hard to find you afterwards, so yeah.
Thank you, Paul. And two last announcements, one from Kai.
Yeah, we mentioned it already, but I want to repeat again the announcement of the harassment contact persons for today, and please stand up, Max and Milutin for today. Over there and over there, you will see them more or less sober tonight in the parties, and they're there to also be there to be approached and have an eye to the left and to the right.
And the very last announcement for today, we actually have an esteemer whose birthday is today. Delegate from LG Munich, can you please stand up? So I would like to sing a happy birthday for him. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday dear. Thank you. So I'm closing agenda point 18. And one last moment, tomorrow's voting session, so at the delegates, please be on time in the morning. J starts at 9, like today, so that you don't miss quorum and can vote, okay? You are free to stand up, have fun, and we see each other on the party latest tonight.
Please take all the trash that you might have produced with you.
Thank you. Please take your trash with you.